Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Field Lacrosse Nationals here at New Brighton Fields in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We have got ourselves a matchup in the 10 a.m. block in between the U19 Team Alberta and the U19 Team Ottawa in what should be a great matchup. This will be our second game of the day. We had a game earlier between the two U17 teams for both Alberta and Ontario. Ontario came out on top with I believe it was 13-2. I don't quite remember the exact score. I can definitely get that checked though. But we're just waiting for both of these teams to get ready to go. Both goalies heading towards their crease. I'm Simon Chaskovsky. I believe I forgot to introduce myself. But we're about to get underway. Team Ontario wearing white and red. Alberta wearing blue and gold. We'll see Bolger on one side for Alberta. On the other side of him, that is going to be Jackson Short, I believe, if I have the number right. And with this face-off, we're underway. This is going to get immediately pinned down. Team Alberta fighting for it. Team Ontario is going to get rid of it first, and they're rushing towards the Alberta goal. Knocked the stick out of his hands, though. Now Alberta's heading the other way. Rushing in down the right side. It's on the stick of Bolger. Bolger's going to send this one rolling for Dobbin. Dobbin spinning his way in through two defenders. All alone. Has a lane. Puts it on goal, and Alberta jumping on the board early. As Hale Dobbin rushes by two defenders, beating them on the inside to just pretty much completely open up the inside of the field and go 5-hole on Team Ottawa's goaltender, making it 1-0 very early in this one. So we'll get ready for the second face-off here. We'll see Bolger and Short get ready for another one. Both refs back off, and off we go. Bolger picking it up right off the face-off, rushing in alone, but we'll have an instant whistle. And it looks like BC is going to get this one after the infraction and head the other way down the field. He's going to rush in down the left side. Didn't like what he saw, turned back. Long is going to pick it up at center. He's going to move in down the left side now, being tailored by Ellis. We'll have a flag in the air almost immediately after that. Ontario's going to get to hold on to their possession, and we'll have to wait and see what that flag is in a little bit as they work their way in on the far left side here. They'll find Long at the top right, who immediately ditches it down to Bernard in the corner. Running off a screen, might have a shot. Looks like he will take it, whipping that on goal, but it'll miss wide right, as that will end up resulting in us seeing what this flag will end up being. It looks like it'll be Ferrati sitting, giving Ontario the man up. They'll start with this one in the far right corner, making their way in. Long shot, bouncing way too high, as that one ends up on the wrong side of the fence, and we'll have to get a new ball. As that one, another shot by Ontario, but finds the back of the net, not the front. Ontario holding on to possession, working their way in on the left side. We'll see Ferrati's penalty end. Even strength, Long trying to fight his way in. He's going to rush right, gets it knocked off his stick, rides its way over to Renaud. He's going to take a few whacks, continues to run with it. Renaud puts a great shot on goal, and with that, no goal. Wait, that one's going to get waved off, as it got very loud there for a moment. I wasn't too sure if it found the back of the net, but it looks like the call on the field is going to be no, as things will remain 1-0. Alberta picking that one off as they get their offense going after that maybe controversial call. Hale Dobbin taking it at center. Dobbin's going to move in down the right side, sending this one over. Finds Sardison. Sardison back behind the goal, finding Hannigan. Hannigan's going to push up. He has Dobbin. Thinks about giving it to Meyer, walks off the screen instead. Dobbin has the solo goal of this game as of right now, sending it into the corner. Carrying it there, that is Alberta pushing in, might have the rebound. They'll end up running back outside with it. Ontario trying to recover, and they will. They'll have it in their own defensive end, sending it over to their goaltender. Ontario pushing forward now. They're going to rush through center. Getting over that center line. McKinnon has it. He'll send it to the corner. Renaud and McKinnon are going to play pass right along the sideline. McKinnon takes a whack. Ontario trying to see what they got on the outside here. Ontario moving from side to side, sending it in deep, but that one's got a bit too much mustard on it, and it'll go out the back. Alberta's now going to head back the other way. Your score is still 1-0. We had a close no-goal call on Ontario, so they're still looking for their first. Dobbin's going to take this one after Alberta crosses over that center line and walk it down the left side. It looks like on our other field here for field 1, we're sitting at a score of 5-0, which is a little bit less close than what we're seeing over on field 2 here. Dobbin rushing in. He's looking for another one. Sends it to the corner instead. Finds someone right in front. Ferrati sends that one off a defender and out of bounds. Alberta getting things started here. Ferrati walking this one in. Sends it down to the corner. Pushing in down the right side, has a lane, sends it to his teammate instead. Long shot by Bolger is turned away. It'll be dropped right down in the dirt. Both teams trying to pick this one up. There's a lot of white jerseys in there. Bolger will be the first one there regardless. He'll send it out to Cook. Alberta pushing forward, gets by the first defender. Cook has a chance here, but this one ends up getting knocked off his stick. That was a good shot there by Bemung. Ontario trying to head the other way now. Cuppers holding it in on that side. He's going to waste some time here. Ontario setting something up here. On the other side, McKinnon over to Long. Long's going to walk with it now. Sends the long pass to the other side of the field. Pushing in here. McKinnon has it. Decides to walk back out and reset it. As they send it out to center once again, over to Long. Long pushing through. Turns back with it. Has the shot. Ends up sending a pass to the other side of the slot, which isn't quite received well. And that one ends up out of bounds. It'll be Alberta picking it up. Sending this one over to their goaltender. As that is Owen Hamill in net. Ontario rushing in down the left side. Has the lane. Diving shot. Goes over the shoulder of Hamill, but over the crossbar as well. Renaud is going to get to start with it to the left of that Alberta goal. Walking in front with it. Has a shot from up high, but that one doesn't go. Second one will. Ontario burying their first one of this game. As that's a pretty big one, as that'll tie things up at 1-1. We'll see Nickel and Bolger face off here. Both refs leave the face-off area, and we're underway. We'll see Bolger win this one. He's going to run down the right side while taking a few whacks from Nickel. Nickel gets the ball loose, picked back up just outside of center. This one's going to be rolled over. Bolger getting it back, and Alberta's going to get this one set up. Alberta pushing in on the right side, might have a lane, takes the shot. That'll be a great save there by Ellis. Mason is going to move this one through center, but he's got Sardison right on his shoulder. Able to get rid of Sardison, but runs directly into Dobbin. McKinnon has it now along the right side. Ontario trying to push into the slot. He'll have a shot, but that one doesn't go. Ontario continuing to fight here. As Renaud is setting up here on the right side. Puts this one on goal, but it goes right behind the net, and Alberta recovers it. As an update to what's going on field 2 here. Your score right now is 8-0 for Manitoba. Oh, for BC. I was surprised there for a moment. That's not necessarily what I would have predicted, but yes, I believe BC is up 8-0. Alberta setting up on the left side here. Cook has it. Sending this one across the way. We're still in the first quarter. We've got a tied game here. 1-1 is your score. Big hit there. Alberta trying to pick it back up. Ontario gets there first. As that's McDowell trying to fight for it. Alberta getting it right back after it gets knocked loose, and Bemung is going to walk this one over to the far left corner. Hannigan pushing in here. Walks into two defenders. Has to take a few hits in the process. Sends it back out to Bemung. Cook has it. Sending that one across. This one's got Kohut. Back to Cook. Cook fakes his way in. Misses Kohut. Has to go get his own pass. Sending it right along the goal line. Kohut with it again. Over to Meyer. Meyer setting it up. Kohut spins off his defender. Tries to find a block. Finds a teammate in low. Sardison right in front. An excellent save there by Ellis to reject that one. Ontario pushing their way down the left side of the field now. 1 minute left in the quarter. Long winds up for the shot, but that one swallowed right up by Owen Hamill. Ferrati has it. Clock is ticking on our first quarter here. Ferrati walking in, long shot. Excellent save. Ellis doing a good job to stop that one. 30 seconds left now. Ontario pushing forward. Gonna find Boone rushing through center. Boone, long shot. Whistles right on by that right post. And that will do it here for the first quarter of play. 1-1 is your score after 15 minutes. We'll be right back with you for the second quarter once all the players return to the field. All right, welcome back to the second quarter of play here. We've got a U19 matchup between Team Alberta and Team Ontario. Currently, the score is tied 1-1. We haven't necessarily had a lot of close games so far. At least we didn't in the first day, but this is definitely a nice change. As, like I mentioned, we've got a tied matchup through 15 minutes as we get ready for the opening face-off. Bulger versus, I believe, on the other side of that. That's short. Bulger's going to get the win. He takes a few whacks in the process, spins off of him. Rushes up. We've got a flag in the air now early here. as we wait to see what the penalty is going to end up being, even if there is even going to be one. And it looks like Nickel is going to serve, which means Alberta will be a man up for a moment here. It's a 30-second penalty for Nickel. Alberta getting it right behind the goal. Whipping it on net, but that one just narrowly misses the net and nearly hits my car. That would have been bad. Holy. Had a mini heart attack on that one. Alberta setting up behind the net, charging forward. That one is going to go top shelf. Or not. They're waving it off. It's still tied. I thought that was in. Now that is a shocker, as now we've had 2 goals that I thought were in get waved off. As we're going to remain at 1-1. Ontario charging forward here, trying to set something up. Alberta pushing to try and get a steal. They'll end up regaining possession and just letting things set up. Renaud has it in the far right corner. Gets sent up to McKinnon. Back up to McKinnon once again. Luza has it. In the far left corner here as they're trying to spread out that Alberta defense. Pushing in. Has a lane on the other side. Long shot, and Ontario will break the tie as it moves to a score of 2-1 here in the second quarter. As a long shot there from the high right slot manages to sneak right on by Owen Hamill. As we get ready for the next face-off here. On the other side of things, BC is currently leading 10-0 over Manitoba, on our U17 side on Field 1. You can find that stream the same place you can find the one that you are currently watching on CROW LAX TV. Ontario starting their offense. Handing it off to Long, over to McKinnon. Getting out a few of their offensive specialists while they wait out the clock a little bit. Boone sending it down to the corner. He'll take a few whacks, trying to spin out the defender, won't find much success. Back up to Boone. Over to McKinnon. McKinnon pushing in down the right side, back behind the goal. Ontario pushing in, spins off the blocker. Doesn't quite have the angle for the shot, but his teammate sure does. Owen Hamill rejects it regardless. As that was an impressive sliding save from the Alberta goaltender. Hamill pushing up, finds Meyer. Meyer is going to try and get over the center line, and he will. Finds Gardner pressing in on the left side, and he's got speed. Handing it off as they try and set something up, looking for the tire. But it looks like it'll be rejected, and now Ontario's heading the other way. Long is going to walk out to center with it. Couples has it. Sends a long pass to the opposite side. Has Luza looking for the shot. Tries to pass it instead. Cook knocks it off his stick. And Alberta's heading the other way. Alberta pushing in on the left side now. He has Bellevue. Bellevue over to Ferrati. Bolger has it over to Bellevue. Bellevue walks off a screen, gets it, his stick knocked out of his hand. Same thing happens to Bolger. Both teams fighting for it here. Looks like Alberta's able to recover, and Ferrati walks it back out to center. Pushing in here, and Alberta's going to tie things up, as that one is going to end up coming off the stick of Kohut, who rushed in down the left side. As I believe he got the pass from Bolger, and that'll tie us right back up at 2-2. Very low scoring game so far going on over here on field 2, as it's been a very defensive matchup. A lot of chances, but two outstanding goaltenders standing on their heads so far. Bolger and Nickel getting ready to go. Both refs back away, and away we go. Bolger wins the face-off. This one's going to be picked up by Dobbin. Dobbin charging forward, has Armstrong to his left. Armstrong goes off for a change. Meyer comes in instead. Dobbin has speed. He'll walk it out to the right side. Gives it to Sardison instead. Gets it right back. Dobbin. Right over to Meyer. Meyer is going to get whacked in the shoulder a few times. Thinks about whipping it. He will. Rebound goes, and Alberta gets the tiebreaker, as they are going to bring things up to 3-2 here in the second quarter. Back-to-back goals here for Alberta. We'll get ready for another face-off here. Plenty of goals here in the second quarter, at least in comparison. Both teams fighting for it as this ball ends up on the ground. Bolger's going to end up knocking it into the offensive zone. He'll be there to pick it up, but not for long, as it returns to the ground rather quickly. And we'll see Fess for BC grabbing it. Both teams still trying to get a handle on it. And finally, it looks like BC will be able to just cover this one up, and we'll slow things down. Ellis is going to throw this one forward. BC gets their offensive specialists out there. Ontario running behind the goal here. Shot on the other side, and they'll tie things right back, as that brings us to 3-3. Both teams stepping on the gas here before the end of the first half. That one came off the stick of Nathan Renaud, and I don't think that's his first. On the other side of things, BC is having one heck of a performance on field 1, currently up 13-0 over Manitoba. You can catch that stream on our CROW LAX TV YouTube page, the same place you more than likely found this stream. Bolger rushing down the left side here after the face-off win, rolling it into Bellevue. Bellevue loses it. He's trying to recover it, but it'll be picked up by a BC defender, and we'll get a quick whistle. And BC's going to pick it up, rushing forward with it. As they try and set up their offense. They just tied things up a moment ago. They're looking for a way to jump ahead. Long has it. Cross to Logue. Boone. Back down into the corner now. On the opposite side, sending a long pass. Over to Logue once again. Rushing in here as he'll have the angle. Finds a teammate in the corner. Finds the cutter. He'll be tripping, but Hamill will make the save, and we'll get a quick flag in the air. And it would look like we'll have a 1-minute call here on Team Alberta. It'll be a slashing call. That'll go to Alberta defender Bishop. He'll serve for a minute. Logue has the shot, whips it on goal, and that'll break the tie once again. And it looks like the goal will count. I wasn't too sure at first because we are getting a timeout here, which caused my confusion. But the score is now 4-3 with Ontario leading as we get a last-second timeout here before the end of the first half. So we'll be right back with you when the players return to the field. Both teams have rejoined the field and left their huddles, as we've more than likely just got a few minutes left here in the first half. Currently the score is 4-3, Ontario leading over Alberta. You're watching the U19 Field Lacrosse Nationals. And we're about to get back underway. Bolger, Nickel, both getting ready to take the face-off. And I'm sure Alberta would love a chance to try and tie things back up before we head into the second half. Ontario going to do everything in their power to make sure that doesn't happen. Bolger able to push up Nickel off of him, but it'll end up being the Ontario defender Fess picking it up right behind him and letting Ontario get their offense going. Boone sending it to the corner. He'll walk forward with it. Has Loge. Bishop still in the box. Long shot. Ontario buries another one, and they're going to go up by 2 here, bringing the score to 5-3. And it looks like Alberta will finally be removed of their man-down penalty. And at halftime, BC is currently leading 15-0 over Manitoba on field 1. That is a U17 matchup. As here on CROW LAX TV, we are covering both the U17 and U19 Field Lacrosse Nationals. You can catch all the games right in our YouTube feed, our live YouTube feed, I believe it's called. Dobbin sending it down the left side. And it looks like there'll be a whistle here. And it looks like that will do it. As that'll be a timeout for Alberta. As they're going to try and set something up here for the last second. Both teams have now returned to the field as we're quickly approaching the end of the first half here. Your score is 5-3. Alberta called a timeout there to try and draw something up as they're looking for a chance to maybe decrease Ontario's lead before we head into the half. Fraudy picking it up, pushing it down the right side. They have it right behind the goal now. Dobbin taking it up at center. Back down into the corner. Bulger walks off a screen by Dobbin, takes a few whacks, tries to throw it to the other side. Fraudy not there to pick it up. He has to run backwards for it. Gets it on his second try, over to Bulger once again. As time is starting to run out here. Ontario charging down the left side. Pushing in here. Ontario with a chance. Jumping shot. Hamill able to stop it. He's going to send a long pass. Finds little bit over Ferrati's head, actually, on the right side. And Ontario will be getting it. As they just had to shoot a long one there with only 3 seconds left before halftime. Nothing's going to come of it, and with that, we are done with the first half. Your score for it will be 5-3. Ontario leading by 2 goals as we head into halftime. We'll be right back with you for the second half of play once that gets started. All right, welcome back to the second half of field lacrosse action here at the Field Lacrosse Nationals here in Calgary, Alberta. We're at New Brighton Field, and we've got a matchup between the U19 group of Team Alberta and Team Ontario. We're going to see this face-off won by Bolger. He'll quickly end up jumping on it, and Alberta's going to get the chance to pick it up. Currently, your score is 5-3. On the other field we've got here, we've got a bit crazier of a scoreboard going on as BC is currently up 18-0 over Manitoba. Dobbin's going to take this one in the top right. Ferrati getting it from him. Bolger has it now. Fakes left, goes right. Charging over center. Picking this one up. Down low. As they start to work this one in. Ferrati getting that one off. As he brings Ontario's lead down to just one, as it is now a score of 5-4. As that bounce shot was just barely able to beat Ellis and brings us back to a one-goal game. We're getting ready for another face-off here. Both refs back away, and we're off. Bolger's going to win this one. Nickel right on his hip. He ends up faking the pass, walks in himself. Excellent save there by Ellis to reject that one. Ontario heading the other way now, as he's going to rush this one over center. Ends up losing it, and it rolls right into Ontario's bench. Team Alberta going to get the chance to start with the ball in their own zone now, sending a pass right over center. Cook's going to charge in with it. Rushing up, spins off the defender. Fakes back, loses the ball, trying to get it back for himself. It's on the ground, and BC picking it up. Sending it over to the goaltender. Ellis sending a long pass, finds Mason. Mason charging through center now. Sending this one down the left side. This one's over to McKinnon. Back behind the goal now. Renaud has it. Back to McKinnon. Gets it right back. McKinnon and Renaud playing a game of pass. They'll include, that's Luza with that one. Sending this one over to the top left corner. Luza down to McKinnon. He'll get it right back. So they continue to try and open up something. Luza charging in, spins back off the screen. Not quite able to pull that one off. Long shot, and Ontario grabs another, as that makes things 6-4 with that impressive long shot by the Ontario attacker. As Ontario has quickly regained their lead or their 2-goal lead, excuse me. And we'll get ready for another save, or another face-off. Ontario's bench is getting loud for their face-off man. He won't get the win here, though. Meyer runs backwards with it. He's going to get chased and takes a few whacks. Running down the left side here. Has Nickel on his hip. Clark is going to pick it up. Alberta trying to set something up now. Meyer has it at center. Trying to spin by the defender. Won't quite get all the way by him. Clark has it now. Sending it over. Finds someone inside. On the other. Goes top right. And Team Alberta has brought themselves back within one once again. As that one is going to end up coming off of the stick of Kohut, as that makes 2 on the game for him. 6-5 is now your score. We'll get ready for the next face-off now. It's going to immediately get pinned. Both players trying to get it out. Bulger will get it out first. And rushes in with it. And it's now 20-0 on our field one here with BC and Manitoba. Ferrati shooting this one on goal. As that one gets knocked off the stick of an Ontario defender before he gets it right back. Heading down the field now will be the midfielder Mason. Ontario trying to set something up. Finds McKinnon on the right side. Back to Boone. McKinnon gets it. Sends a long pass. As they try and set up a play here, as that one whistles on by. Ontario burying another one. That brings us up to a score of 7-5. Ontario leading. Every chance that Alberta has gotten a chance to try and dig themselves back into it, it seems like Ontario is right there to knock them back down. Bulger and Nickel getting ready for another one. We're off. Bulger's going to get the win here again. Trying to push it forward, but he gets knocked off his stick. We've got a flag in the air. It'll be a 1-minute slashing call. As this one's going to Van Dort. Alberta's going to start their man-up advantage now. Making their way around the slot. Ferrati on the other side. Finds Bamung. Over to Bulger. Right in front. And that'll be another one for Alberta. As the score is now 7-6. Very high scoring game on both sides so far. So we get ready for the face-off here. It's picked up by Ontario, and they get their offense on the field. Pushing down the right side with it. McKinnon has it now. He'll slow things down. Has a few options. Sending it over to Shabbat. McKinnon will get it right back. Walking it in himself. Luza. Pushing it in down the left side. Taking a few whacks. Ontario's got their defense started. Or offense, excuse me. Taking it back behind the goal. Trying to find a cutter. Won't quite find one with that pass. Rushing in. That'll be a great save. Getting some applause from the stands. Ontario continuing to try and get some more offense in. So they're trying to push by him. Chabot will get by the first. Second pass won't get there. Somehow he holds on through all of those whacks. Luza, long pass. The shot will go, and Ontario buries another one here. As that brings us to a score of, I believe that makes it 8-6. And it looks like they have called a stick check. We're going to quickly wait for the outcome of this one. And they're going to deem that the stick is in fact illegal. The goal is still going to count, but it looks like that player is going to have to switch sticks, as they're going to deem that the strings on a stick are too long. 8-6 currently is your score. Alberta's going to start with this one at center. Sending it over to White. White over to Kohut. Walking off a screen, across to the other side. Spinning off of it is Kohut. Charging in, has a shot in front, and Alberta brings themselves back within one. And with that, your score is 9-8. Ontario still leading by one. And this is going to be a timeout, I believe. So we'll be right back with you once all the players are back. So in case you missed that, we just had that last goal waved off due to an illegal stick, as that makes 2 stick checks in the last few seconds here. I can't say I've seen one before all tournament long. And that's back-to-back stick checks, with the first one we saw still allowing the goal. That last one is going to lead to that last Alberta goal being waved off, which means that we should have a score. We have 9-8 on the scores table, but I believe it should be 9-7. We'll see. We'll see if they correct that. As a score correction, it's 8-6 currently with that waved off goal. So I had the wrong score. I apologize. Long is going to push in down the left side here, taking a few whacks from Ferrati. Sending it over to McKinnon. McKinnon's going to face some instant pressure. And we've got a hand in the air now. It's going to be a push. Ontario, excuse me, takes it in the corner now. McKinnon. Rotating it around the outside here. As we quickly see Ontario setting something up. Pushing in. Luza didn't like it. Long shot. Hamill able to send that one into the sky. And that'll be a goal right in front for Ontario. Happening very, very quickly. I almost missed it. And now that's going to bring us to a score of 9-6. Ontario starting to step ahead a little bit. Alberta now down by 3. We're still in the third quarter, quickly approaching our fourth. And it'll be an Alberta timeout before the end of the third quarter here. So we'll be right back with you once the play resumes. All right, everybody's returned to the field now, and we'll get ready to go here. Alberta starting with the ball. 22 seconds on the clock before the end of the quarter, excuse me. We'll see Bolger start with it. He'll send it up high. Ferrati walking in. He sees a lane, rushing up. That one's rejected, and now Ontario has it. They're going to try and get rid of it. Sends a long bomb trying to find a teammate deep in the zone. It's going to go out the back. And that will do it for the third quarter of play. Your score, it is currently, I believe, 9-6. So we'll be right back with you once the fourth quarter gets back underway. In the meantime, though, we've still got a game going on over on the first field in between both Manitoba and BC. So in our short quarter break, feel free to go check that out. We'll be right back in a moment. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth quarter of play here between Alberta and Ontario. We've got ourselves a close matchup. Your score currently is 9-6 with Ontario leading. I'm Simon Chaskovsky. I'll be with you for the final quarter of play here in between these two teams. Alberta on the rush here, getting an early shot off, but it'll be a nice save. Heading the other way now will be Ontario. Sending it over. Driscoll has it. He's looking for a shot. Decides he doesn't like it. As he turns back. Sends it to a teammate, and assumingly they're going to slow things down here. Long shot there. Misses Hamill's net and is going to go all the way out the back. Ontario trying to get a shot off. Somehow he hasn't lost this ball yet. Continuing to fight for it. And he gets his helmet knocked off, and we have multiple flags in the air. We'll wait to see what the infraction ends up being. But it's safe to assume somebody's going to be sitting in the box for that one. It'll be a 1-minute penalty going to Ellis on Team Alberta. Ontario working their way around with their man-up advantage. Sending it far. Long shot, and that one just barely trickles right on by Hamill. And with that, we're going to see Team Ontario move into double digits with a score of 10-6. As an update to what's going on in our other game here on Field 1, Manitoba has had to bring in an emergency goaltender as we had an injury on the field. And it wasn't somebody on the score sheet either, as they have had to bring in a new player. I believe BC signed off on that. So we hope that the injured player recovers fast and is all right, as I know Manitoba has plenty of games still left to play in this tournament. Nickel versus Bolger here in the face-off circle once again. This one pinned by Bolger, but it gets knocked off his stick. We get an instant whistle, and it looks like it might be getting given back to Alberta. Bolger picking it up, getting some help. He'll immediately get double teamed, runs away from it. He's charging for it. He might have a lane. Sends it back to his teammate, though. Ferrati on the side. Long shot, whistling far right of that post. Sending its way all the way to the side of the other field, as that ball had quite a good amount of distance. We're back underway. Team Alberta trying to look for a little bit of hope. Ferrati sending it over to Clark. Shortison missing on that pass. And now Ontario will get this one. They're going to rush up the field now. Mason has it. They start to see what they have. Luza picking it up at center. Sending it down low. This one's knocked off his stick. Alberta on the rush, getting knocked off Mondragon's stick now. And Ontario has quickly recovered it right back, as we've had a few turnovers in the last little bit. Both teams fighting for it behind the goal now. Taking a few whacks here, pushing in with it. Has a lane, charging forward. Excellent save there by Hamill. Hamill's going to run behind his own goal and throw this one up. Dobbin, nice spin. He's charging forward with speed. Kohut is going to walk it up on the left side, throwing it back to Dobbin. Now it looks like Ontario will get the steal and head the other way. Luza pushing up. He runs through a few screens. His bench is getting loud. Odd man advantage, and they'll go top cheddar. Ontario puts their lead up to a score of 5 now, with the score being 11-6. As Ontario has quickly stepped on the gas here in the final quarter and are beginning to leave Alberta in the dust. Alberta setting up their offense here. Hannigan on the right side. Rushing up with a chance here. Passing it to the other side. And it'll get blown down, and Ontario is going to get it. Mason's going to lose this ball. Picking this up right along the left side of the field now as Alberta gets the turnover and are going to get a chance to see if they can make anything work with their offense. Finding Clark up high over to Dobbin. Dobbin's going to take a look, sending it over to Ferrati. Ferrati behind the goal. Rushing around the opposite side, back in front to Ferrati. Trying to set something up. Over to Clark. Gets it sent to Dobbin. Knocked off his stick, and Ontario recovers it. They'll push back up to center. Alberta with some tough defense. Ontario continuing to push through. Knocked off Dobbin's stick now as he tried to recover it. Ontario getting things going. Long shot there as Hamill makes the first save, the second one as well. They'll rush down the left side now. Alberta with a lane. Passing it right in front, but that's going to go way out the back, as it looks like Ontario is going to get awarded with it, and we'll see them get their offense back on the field. The score currently is 23-0 on our other field, with BC leading over Manitoba. And we've got a flag in the air. We're going to see Emerson serving a penalty here for Alberta. On the other side, it's going to roll far. On the other side now, as Ontario is going to bury one more, bringing them up to 12. We've reached a finale on the other field here. So it looks like BC is going to get the win over Manitoba, 23-0. As the ball goes the back of our far end. We're quickly approaching our end for the 10 o'clock games, but we've still got plenty of games left to go today, with more coming up at noon on both Field 1 and Field 2. He's going to take a few whacks. Ontario's bench seems to want a slash. Looks like they won't quite get it. Chabot's going to hand it off. Ontario charging for it now. Walking by him. Long shot, and that one whistles by Hamill. McKinnon with the solo effort to add another goal to the board, as that makes 13 for Ontario now, as they now have a lead of 7. We'll get ready for another face-off here. Both Nickel and Bolger once again getting ready to go. This one's going to be a win for Nickel. He's going to rush up with it. Down the left side. This one's bobbled right in front of the net for Alberta, which has allowed me to notice that we have a goalie change for Team Alberta. McDonough has entered the net, as they have relieved Hamill, who I think had a very strong 3 quarters, but that 4th quarter was a little rough for Team Alberta as a whole. So clearly they're just trying to get something new started. Ontario continuing to get their offense underway with the ball on the right side now. Rushing in with it. Passing it right in front, and that'll be their first goal on McDonough, bringing the score up to 14-6. As this is quickly turning into a statement win for Ontario, and we'll get a timeout for Alberta. We'll be right back once play resumes. Little under 2 minutes left here as we get ready for another face-off after that Team Alberta timeout. Bolger's going to get the win and start to push forward. He's going to run into some resistance from BC, and now they're trying to head the other way, but it'll get stolen right back. As nope. Hannigan has the ball now as he's rushing in down the right side. I believe there's a Flanagan on a different team. As that one goes over the post. Rushing down the left side now. Bolger didn't like it. He sent it over. Gardner looking at the shot. Sending it back across. Continuing to try and see what they can get to work. And we've got a whistle. And it looks like this one is going to be awarded back to Ontario. It's going to be a long pass to Chabot. Chabot walking with it in the right corner. McKinnon gets it, gives it right back to him. As he spins off the blocker, he's going to charge down the right side. Ontario setting up a little bit of offense as we approach the final little bit of this fourth quarter. As we've got another penalty on Team Alberta. It'll be a 1-minute call. We're starting to get teams warming up behind us for our noon games coming up in just a little bit as Ontario buries another one, which makes it 15-6. I couldn't tell you what the exact total for how many goals they scored in this fourth quarter. I don't know why that sentence was so hard. I couldn't tell you the exact total, but I can tell you right now that it's a lot, as they've had a very impressive fourth. We'll get ready for at least one more face-off here. Both teams getting ready for it. As on field one, U17 Nova Scotia is starting to warm up. And it looks like they may be facing off against Quebec based on the team warming up on field three. Ontario pushing through, looking for one more, puts it on goal. McDonough is able to reject that one. And that will do it for this matchup. We got 3/4 of a very, very close game and then some very, very impressive offense from this Ontario squad in the fourth quarter to just pull away. Your final score ends up being 15-6 in what ended up being quite the performance by that Ontario team right there. I've been Simon Chaskovsky. Thank you so much for watching this matchup here on CROW LAX TV. We're going to have games all afternoon long and evening, so make sure to stick around for all of that. But for now, have a good afternoon.